Perfect. It looks like the bus is driving right into my head. Hello lovely people, welcome back to my channel. If you can hear the wind like literally whipping the house, that's because it is whipping the house, and I apologize, I cannot control the weather. Today I am doing my Q1 reads wrap-up video, so I'm going to be telling you about all of the books that I read this quarter. I think we got 6. What I thought of them, what I recommend them, what my review was. And yeah, let's just get in. I just need to get my phone. Perfect. It looks like the bus is driving right into my head. Okay, so I had a goal for this year to read 1 book a month, and I'm at 6 and we've had 4 months, so I think we're off to a great start. I've just been really wanting to read way more than I had been. Oh no, I'm not signed in. Come on. Okay, here we go. So I have 4 of the books here next to me, but I do not have 2 of them because one of them I got from the library and one of them was an ebook. So I'm just gonna hold up the image that's just gonna go next to me on the screen. So the first book that I read for the year was The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley, and I gave it 4 stars. So this book is about a group of already off to a great start. This group is about a bunch of college friends and their spouses, and they always go away every New Year's, and so they decide this year that they're going to go to a remote like, what is it called? Not a villa. Oh my god, I'm so tired. Okay, a remote hotel, kind of like a lodge in the Scottish Highlands for New Year's, and there's only one way in and one way out, and if it's really snowy, you can't leave. So they get there and there seems to be some weird stuff going on, and then on New Year's Eve somebody is murdered, and it can only be one of the people who is there that's been murdered and one of the people who's there that's killed them. So you've got the 8 friends. Is it 8? Goodreads, help a girl out. It doesn't say. So you've got the group of friends, you've got the 2 people who live there, and you've got 2 other people who are also staying there at the same time, and one of them did it, and the police cannot get there. So, ooh, mystery. Who did it? And honestly, I did not know. I thought I knew. I was like trying to piece together who it could be, and I did not know. I did not see this plot twist coming, so I would highly recommend this book. It is by Lucy Foley, and she also wrote a super popular book that just came out, I think, The Guest List. It's very popular. Girl, what else did you write though? Yes, The Guest List, which is like a super, super popular thriller mystery. So I have heard mixed things about that, but I really liked The Hunting Party, and I would highly recommend. It was a very quick read. The chapters are short, and I like how you get to see all the different kind of like perspectives of the characters and try and piece together what's going on. So yes, that is how I feel about that book. The second book that I read, pause. I also am fulfilling the Rad Reading Challenge. I'll link it down below. I think it's Rachel's Rad Reading Challenge. And so I filled The Hunting Party. I used to fill a random pick from the library, and then one of the other prompts was a teenage favorite. So for this one, I went back to my vampire teenage fiction roots, and I chose Hearts at Stake, which is the first book of the Drake Chronicles series by Alexandra Harvey. This series follows the Drake family, and they are a family of ancient vampires. But unlike lots of vampires who are turned by being bitten by another vampire, they biologically become vampires when they turn 18. So you're following Solange. She is a vampire she's currently a human, but she is the first female vampire born in this lineage since the current queen, who's been alive for like hundreds of years because they're vampires, they live forever. She is the last Drake child, and there's this prophecy that she will come and become queen and take over. So a lot of people want her dead, and it is coming up to her 18th birthday where she will turn and become a vampire. And so it follows her, and it follows her best friend Lucy, who is a human, and then also the Vampire Hunter Academy that is nearby. And yeah, the whole series, I was obsessed with it as a kid. The vampires are really hot. And I was right back in there with this book. Like, I was like obsessed with vampires again temporarily. So that one I rated 4 stars also. I think it's a cute little teenage read. It was easy. It took me like no time at all, but those books are no longer being published. So you have to either find them on like eBay or something or get the ebook. So that is my only flaw, but I love that series. I don't think I ever finished the whole thing, but I was obsessed with it for a long time, and I'm still sad that they never made it into a movie. The third book that I read this year is this chunky boy. This is What We All Long For by Dion Brand. There's actually 2 books in here. Her other book, Love Enough, is like at the end, but What We All Long For is takes up the majority of the book. It goes to this much is What We All Long For, and this much is Love Enough. So this book is about this girl named Tu Yen, and she lives in Toronto. She is a first-generation Canadian. Her parents escaped to Vietnam during the Vietnamese War, and it's kind of about her and her other... This tripod is crooked. Like it's even more crooked. Now it just feels crooked. Okay, maybe that's better. Okay, so this book, so yes, she's a first-generation Canadian, and it follows her and her 3 other friends that are also first-generation Canadians. Carla, Jackie, and Oku. And basically, Tien's family has been torn apart because when they were escaping from Vietnam to come to Canada, before she was born, they lost their youngest child. He just disappeared. Like, he went with another family by accident. So her parents have been beating themselves up for that for years, and all of her other friends, they have like their own familial problems, but the plot, if there really is one, is that the brother comes back to Toronto. They find him and he comes to Toronto. That does not really happen very early on in the book, I will say. I really liked this book when it started out, and then the ending made me so angry. I still think I gave this book like 4 stars though. No, I gave it, oh wait, that's the general rating. Yeah, but I did give it 4 stars. The character development and the writing, the way she writes about Toronto, they're all amazing, but at the end of the book, you don't get rewarded for the like 500 pages that you just read about these characters. Their lives just end. But yeah, the ending just really ruined the whole book for me, and I felt like I did all this work to get here because it's a long book for nothing. So this book was a book club read, which is why I picked it up. And I would read some things by Dion Brand again, but I definitely was disappointed with the ending, and it was a long read. The next book that I read is a bit of a different one, and I've talked about this on my blog and on my Instagram, so I won't talk about it for too long. But this is First We Make the Beast Beautiful by Sarah Wilson. As you can see, I used an entire thing of blue sticky notes. I have taken every note from this book and written it down somewhere else, but basically this book is about her journey through mental health struggles and anxiety and chronic disease, and kind of how she made it better and how she like kind of harnessed it as part of her. A couple of things about this book, I enjoyed it. I think there are some good tips, but the author definitely takes her experience as wrote. Essentially, she thinks that because this is how she did it, it's the only way. There's a lot of talk about medication and medication being the wrong thing to do, and if you're taking medication for your mental health, that you're not actively striving to make your health better, and that is just a flat out lie. So there's a few things in here where I'm like, no, you can't take your anecdotal evidence and make it science, but there are some good tips in here, and it is a book that made me feel very understood and heard, and I was nodding along like, yes, somebody wrote down the feelings that I have been feeling for my whole life. So it's a good and a bad read. You kind of just have to take it with a grain of salt, but it's a beautiful cover, and as you can see, there's a lot of information that I found valuable. So, wait, is there a sloth emoji? Oh my god, there is!
Talk, squirrel!
Sorry, that's just a side note. What did I rate this? Again, 4 stars. So, a lot of 4-star reads this month. Yeah, this was good, but just remember those caveats, because I don't want young people to think that if they take medication, they're not doing something good for themselves, when in reality, that can often be the best thing that you can do. It's subjective, and you talk to your therapist about it, and you do you. You do not do her. That's all I have to say. Okay, the next book that I read, and the favorite book that I read of the quarter, was The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. This book has been super, super popular lately. I read it for a book club, and I gave this 5 stars. I liked it from start to finish. The plot. Okay, if you haven't heard about this book yet, this book is about these 2 sisters who grow up in a tiny town in the South, where everyone's black and descended from people of color, but they often are white passing, or more white passing. They have lighter skin, they have like red hair. So anyway, one of the daughters run away and move to New Orleans, and one of them realizes that she can pass for a white woman and runs away, and the other one marries a black man and has a child that has a very dark skin. So they basically live opposite lives, because on one hand you have, why can't I remember their names? On one hand you have, what is your name? Stella, who is, oh yeah, Desiree, who kind of harnessed her black heritage, married a darker skinned man, and had a darker skinned child, who comes back to their tiny town to live with her mother. And then you have Stella, who passed as a white woman, married a white man. Nobody knows that she is actually a person of color, and she has a daughter who is also very white. Oh wait, that's a spoiler. Okay, cut that part. So they have a white daughter, and so essentially both of the twins have not had any contact with each other for years, and their daughters end up connecting. That's all I'm gonna say. So anyway, I thought that this book, and okay, I should say it was set between 1950 and 1990, and I would say that this book did such a good job of opening my eyes to not only the racial prejudices during that time, but also the sexual and gender prejudices during that time, because you go through the perspective of the mothers and the daughters, and it's just, the cast of characters is so diverse, and their problems are so real and raw, and it's just such a beautiful book. It is very well written. It ends very well. I was very happy about it, and I'm really glad that I read it. So this baby got 5 stars. And lastly, we have the last book that I read for this quarter, which is Wilder Girls by Rory Power. And I gave this book 4 stars, mainly because I hated the ending. This book is about a girls' private school on an island off the coast of Maine who has been infected by a plague of some sort. They call it the tox, and they're basically quarantining in their school, but they've been doing that for like 2 years, and the military sends them food and is supposedly looking for a cure, but nothing has come for 2 years, and they've just been living there and watching basically people die and getting it and surviving. And yeah, so basically then one of the girls goes missing, and so they venture outside of the school into the woods that they've been barricaded from, and they kind of start to realize that this might not be what it seems and that everyone might not all be on the same side. So this is a very thrilling book. I loved it. I didn't want to put it down, especially from like the middle point onwards. It is graphic though, I will say. It is graphic, both in terms of like death, but also in terms of like body mutilation and stuff because of like what the disease does to them. So yeah, it is definitely not for the faint of heart, but I really, really, really enjoyed it until the ending. I think I texted my friend and I was like, it feels like she didn't know how to end it, so she just ended it. Like, she didn't know what was gonna happen if this thing occurred, so she just was like, I'm gonna end it before we find out about this thing. So that was really frustrating to me. I kind of feel like there could be a sequel, but I don't believe that there are plans for a sequel. So yeah, I'm a little like torn on how I feel about this book, but I would highly recommend it. It's a quick read and it is very interesting, especially for like this time. Not that I believe what happens in this book is what's happening to us, but you know, a plague read for a plague. All right, so those are all the books that I read for the first quarter. I hope you guys enjoyed this style of video. If you did, let me know. If you'd prefer to see it on my blog instead, let me know, but I kind of like holding up the books and talking about them. So yeah, if you have any book suggestions for me, leave them down below. I will tell you I'm currently reading The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, and I have The Silent Patient next. So a couple of really good reads that will be coming at you in the next quarter's book review. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you have a great rest of your day. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Comment down below what is the best book that you've read so far this year, or what your reading goal is. Mine's 1 book a month, so 12, but I'm definitely gonna blow that baby out of the water. And don't forget to follow my Goodreads and Storygraph, always linked down below, my blog, Instagram, Spotify, TikTok, all the things, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!